Hi guys, welcome back to 10 Minute Reviews. That fuzzy one was Freya. I'm Jason. We're Freya again, and we're bringing you today's video. So for today, we're going to bring up another book, an excellent book, this one in the litRPG category. As usual, I'm going to talk about four things. I'm going to talk about the world, I'm going to talk about the character, or characters, I'm going to talk about the plot, and I'm going to talk about the writing style. So for this one, this is a series that I want to talk about. It's by Daniel Shinhofen, and it's called Alpha World. And again, it's within the litRPG genre. It does also qualify under the harem subgenre, or haremlit subgenre, but primarily it's a litRPG genre. And this one follows some of the more common ways of getting to the litRPG world. Because one thing that a lot of the authors definitely struggle with is how do you make it how do you make a lit RPG, an RPG type world, and still make it, somewhat realistic, or at least have enough of a logic train to not throw readers out of it. And some of them do it with the whole system thing that suddenly appears, aliens, grand overlords, whatnot. And a lot of them do it this way, which is, and getting into the world now. So the world is it's a game. It's a virtual reality game. So a lot of the litRPG books, that's what they premise themselves based around, is the whole full body immersion, virtual reality immersion pod type thing, where then you're transported basically into the video game and you have, full sensory everything, 100%. And this particular game is called Alpha World, and it is experimental, and you've got the main character, Albaret, I believe his name is, that is sent into this world. It's been a while since I read the very first book. I can't remember if he was. I know he's sent in there permanently. I can't remember if it's the one that he's the prisoner that goes that agrees to go into it, or if he's the quadriplegic that goes into it. It's one of the two because the series is much further along. It's been a while since I read the first one. And they don't really touch on it all that often, but it is one of those Middle Ages fantasy-esque type worlds. And again, Albaret is the main character, and he's transported to this world. Now, the thing about this video game is, of course, they have their usual quests and they have their things along those lines. But for the most part, it's open world, which I would hope if they ever actually make virtual reality games that you can do full immersion into. I would hope that they're open world. Not Grand Theft Auto type things, but certainly like Wizardry 8 kind of open world, or like these kind of books where you have this world you can explore and you can almost do anything you want. Now, because this is experimental, it's kind of like beta testing in a way. I mean, there are other players, actual regular players logging in, logging off kind of thing, but there are still programmers. So they're always tweaking it and improving on things, and he's one of the few that's known as someone that's a permanent resident within this game world. So of course he does things a little bit differently. He does end up, with his multiple women kind of thing, but some of them are NPCs. Some of them are NPCs. So there's a lot within this game that really starts to look like some AI capability is beginning to develop. And of course, when you're looking at far future like this, where you've got these pods that you can lay into, and you're just all of a sudden transported via a full body immersion virtual reality kind of thing, you have to figure the tech is probably advanced enough that if you can't get some AIs, you can get pretty damn close. Like the Turing test is not actually that hard to pass if you have sufficiently powerful computers. So something like along those lines is kind of what you were getting into with Alpha World. And I can't really give the plot because again, this is a series and it's a long running series. He does end up with these quests, the big bads and stuff that he has to go after. But a lot of times his the things that end up happening aren't necessarily part of the game per se. They're not, this quest, this mission, this thing you're supposed to do, pick this faction, pick that faction. More comes from the fact that he's just trying to live his life. He's trying to live a new life within this game. And and build this new life. So he marries an NPC, and he builds a guild. His own guild. It's basically just a family. It's a family. Of course, there's some players. There's some regular players in it. But the weird thing, the different thing with this is there's also NPCs in it. It's open to NPCs. It's open to regular players, and he's got a few rules in place. But for the most part, he's just trying to build something stable. He's trying to build something stable. He's trying to build something long term for the benefit of everybody. And of course, that doesn't always go well, and it tends to go sideways. Plus, when you're in this kind of world, and you are stuck in there permanently, you're going to do things a little bit differently, which may get you a little bit crosswise of people that are not stuck in there. You've got your players, you might have your murder hobo players that are not going to like someone that's telling them just chill out, relax. You're throwing off my vibe, you're throwing off my world. This is my home, because that's the difference. Most players, they're going into this game, and it's a game. You go into a video game, and you can go full murder hobo and achieve all your goals. You can go full stealth and achieve all your goals. You can do a mix and match. In his case, this is his world. This is his new life. This is his future. He has nothing else. He doesn't get to exit the game. He doesn't get to go back to a save point, although this doesn't really have save points either, because it's an ongoing developing thing. While there are quests and things like that in the game, major events that take place in the game have repercussions going on. The game is always evolving. The world is always evolving. I mean, if somebody finds this hidden quest and completes this quest of overthrow this duke, well, the next time they log in, the duke isn't back, and other people have this quest. No, the duke is gone for good. He was overthrown. Now maybe you've got your duke in absence kind of thing, trying to start a civil war, or rebuild his armies, or things along those lines. It continues on. So his guild ends up having an open contract from the Assassin's Guild, and it gets interesting. It's definitely interesting. It's very much slice of life, and it's absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. As far as the writing style goes, we've talked about Daniel Shinhofen in the past. His writing style is gripping. It's gripping. It's interesting. You want to read it. You want to find out what happens next. While at the same time, it's slightly cerebral. It's not as smart-ass and snarky as a lot of the authors I read. The character, he thinks. He definitely has some more cerebral aspects to him. He thinks. He rationalizes. He really does try and figure out what is best and follow logic trains, and while at the same time trying to connect with his women and worry about their emotional stability, worry about his friends that are even from the real world, that eventually he's able to reveal that he is a test person that is permanently within this game, but he worries about their well-being, despite the fact that, again, they're just players. Their character is just a character. It's an avatar, but he still worries about them. So very, very humanistic. Daniel Shinhofen writes his characters very, very well. Manages to really impart an emotional core to all of his characters, even the NPC characters. It's pretty incredible. So if you guys like litRPG, you got to check out Alpha World by Daniel Shinhofen. Please hit the like and subscribe button, so we will catch you guys next time. Bye now.